Hey everybody, good morning, happy Thursday. Welcome back to Reaper Pro Tips with me, your host, Ann, Disembodied Hands, Quindy, Justin, John, and a monstrous dog. A monstrous, oh, look at this. This needs to be a screenshot with the faces. Oh, the faces together. Yeah, it's my girl. It's my girl. Yeah. Yeah, that's my girl. Hi, Licky girl. Oh, the paw. I've got the paw. More scritches, Mama. More scritches. Good girl. Good girl. You're so sweet. You're so sweet. Last night, for the first time, she, her head is bigger than mine, right? She does. She knows the drill. Aww. Oh, I've got this dog. Look at this silly dog. Oh, good girl. All right, you. All right. Off. Please, Mom. More pettins, more lickins. Good girl. Good girl. All right, Bubba. Go ahead. Oh, teeth. Exile. Good girl. Yeah, you go settle, okay? I'll be back. Last night, for the first time, she came into the computer room, the hobby room, while David was playing computer games, and she just laid down next to him, and she just, like, settled. And so he could reach down and pet her when he was between dungeons. And so she's finally getting there. Finally. She's learning what all of my dogs in the past have learned, which is when the human is staring at the box, you lie down next to the human, and then the human remembers to pet you at times. Yeah, she was such a sweet girl this morning. She's turning into a real sweetie. She's turning into a super sweet puppy dog. So it's good. Now that she's past her frenetic puppy phase. She still has her moments, like wanting to mouth a little bit there, so that's why she got exiled. Now she's lying on the other side of the gate, staring at me. But if you can be good, you can come in and lie next to me. Do you want to do that? Okay. Come on in. But you've got to be good and settle, okay? You've got to be good and settle. Yep. Yeah, because we got to do some work. Yep. Got to do it. Got to settle, Bubba. Gotta settle, Bubba. She went from Puppa to Bubba. That's why we're Bubba. My dogs always have 16 different names, right? Used in different connotations, right? Different moments, right? Alrighty. But yeah, so yeah, she's becoming an adult dog. She's becoming a very well-behaved adult dog. And I think I have nailed down a pet sitter. He does not care that she is intact. He will take care of her in our home. If she goes into heat, then she goes into heat. So that is a huge weight off my mind. It will not be cheap, but we will have an in-home pet sitter for when we're in Hawaii. So that's a monster awesome off my mind. The screen is only for them. Yes, that's true, Kernika. I can tell. Yes, via Sandra Garrity. That was Sandra Garrity who taught me that. Then I promptly repeated it to everybody I knew. So now everybody does it. If they didn't already. Some people were smart enough to figure that out in the first place. But yeah, not me. All right, so last time we were here, we did do some green work to try to, to shore up this area under her foot. I'm trying to figure out if there's more green work to do, or if I want to just go for it. I kind of feel like these little bits might need some help. I did do the putty work here. I might be okay. I could probably put some plant life back here, where these two little bits are. Yeah, let's just work with this. Let's work with this. If we need some more green, we can always go in and do more green. I'm just looking at what I've got going on. She's coming along. She's really good. So color of basing. Yeah, cats do not. Cats, as far as you're concerned, you are theirs. And everything you own, you don't own it. They do. But yeah, so we could go a lot of different colors with this basing, and we have different kinds of basing too. So it's all in how we want to portray this. Obviously, the cobblestones are going to be stone of some sort, and really the rest of it just looks like ruins, right? So we can go there and just paint it like that and paint it all kind of the same. I think I do want to start with a brown and introduce some gray into it. I may also use a wash over the top of this. When I've got cork, I like to put, the paint layer over the top of the cork is going to seal things down. But I can also, if I go for a wash and I use mostly sealer, I can bring out details and seal things at the same time, which appeals to me. So we did use... I think we used driftwood mixed into, or actually we used a skin tone mixed in a russet brown. I think I want to use shield brown if I can find my shield brown. Yeah. I think I want to use shield as a base for the basing. I do want to maybe mix some gray into it. But shield is a pretty grayed out brown to begin with. So you're not, you don't really have to. If you want it to be grayish, it already is. Only if you want it to be a little more gray, you want to go in. I think I'm going to use a couple of different colors in this. So I think I'm going to stick with my shield and I'm going to stipple in some gray. Maybe I'll stipple in some reddish color. We'll see. I don't want it to clash with her red. I don't want to distract from her red up here. But I've got gray up here and I've got a very, the color on her wings that is made by this hand skin mixing into the russet brown is very close to shield brown. So I think that using some of these colors down here, I think we're going to be just fine. Well, yeah, obviously. I don't know why cats like to watch me so much. I think it's the paintbrush. Cats definitely think I'm entertaining. At least some cats think I'm entertaining. There we go. So, shield brown is a lighter, yellowy brown with, it's a bit washed out, right? It's got a little bit of black and white in it, which adds up to gray. Pardon me, allergies are bad this morning. Lousy. Take your allergy pill, Quindy. Yeah. Late spring and tree mung is everywhere. Alrighty, so let's grab, I'm going to do this. I'm going to grab some of my gray. Where's my stone colors? I want, let's do stone gray. That out of there and put our Sophie girl right here. And I'm going to mostly stipple these in, I think. And I think I'm going to also stipple in some walnut. So I've got a dark that I can stipple into the shadows. That'll set us up pretty well. We might not even need, at that point, we might not even need a wash. In which case I can just put a layer of sealer over it if I feel like I want an additional... Weird Kurtiko. Rhonda's okay, but that Luca guy, he's right out. He sounds about accurate. Yeah, see, I have brain cells today. I feel like I missed opportunities with Luca yesterday. Just because I was, like, so tired because I got my sleep disrupted. I like being awake when Luca's in the stream. All right, let me get some of this walnut down. Walnut. There we go. So we just use little touches of walnut, I think, on this. A moment, I just realized my hands are very dry. I'm going to put on some lotion real quick and try not to get it anywhere near where a miniature is going to be. Yeah, good luck with that, Anne. As I rub my back of my hands together. Alrighty, there we go. Ugh. I've developed my mother's dry skin as I get older. Alrighty, there we are. You could probably summon him, but I think after regret it. Yes. Usually, Luca is full of regret, or at least Luca is never full of regret. But those who summon him are. They're like, why did I think this was a good idea? Why? I'm gonna thin my walnut more like a 2-to-1. I don't want it super strong because I don't want if I try to do wet blending and stippling with this walnut brown, which is a very, very, very dark color. So there's my colors. I got Stone Gray 9086, Shield Brown 9161, and Walnut Brown 9136. This is a very strong color, and if I just leave it in, then it's going to darken everything a lot, which isn't bad if it darkens it a little because I want to highlight this basing, right? But so I'm keeping the basing pretty neutral. If I wanted a splash of color on the base, then the thing to do at this point would be to take a weapon sprue, probably, and maybe cut off the blade or cut off partially the blade of a sword or a dagger, kind of sink it into the basing here. And I don't have like a lot of bits, or I would have thought of doing this before. Pieces of shield are also good because on the daggers and swords, you can use the hilt to have a splash of color. You don't want a lot. You just want a little bit. Like if I had a little bit of a dagger hilt down here that was red, it would help repeat those colors around the model. Otherwise, we're just going to go for some regular old basing. But one thing I could do... Oh, lordy. Thanks, Quindy. He likes my Keekster, too. Everybody likes my Keekster. But anyway, yeah. So there are a couple different ways we could do it. We could also use the leaf litter and paint it, paint a couple leaves reddish-orange. That would help. This is both pieces of bases that I had cut away from other models, Twisted Oma and cork. It's a mixture. He's wicked man. That's what the kiddies know. They're like, Luca, that Luca guy, he's a wicked man. Here we go. So I was reading about birdseed yesterday, because I was looking up the birds that I have at my bird feeder, and I was like, I think I want to get really spoiled birds. So now I'm like shopping for really the bird seed that you really spoil your birds with. I also decided I like having like wild birds to feed, like, because I'm not responsible for them, but I can still pamper them. That's the best kind of pet. Pet, not a pet. And they love the new bird bath I put in. We got the bird bath when I was away at the puppy evaluation, but like the birds love it. Like the finches are always in it. I think we have some finches and some sparrows. And a little tufted guy who I'm trying to figure out what he is. Oh, I'm sure Kurdiko. I'm sure it's just helping. It's just helping. You humans, you just don't get it. All right, I'm going to move to a bigger brush. Where's my number 2? There it is. Number 2, big fat brush. Pretty good for blocking and basing. Glue is not... Yeah, for sure. For sure walking harder. Yeah, my birds have altercations on occasion. But so far, I just got the little guys. I've just got the little birds, which is nice. No big annoying birds, and none of the kinds that you typically don't want to see at your bird feeder yet. All right, so I'm going to pop some of this brown in. I'm going to grab a lot of my gray. And some of your cork will be loose. You'll discover it. But it's okay once you put the paint over it, as long as your paint isn't too thin, because paint resins are plastics. So essentially, They're just going to seal the cork and glue it in place. Paint and PVC glue have a lot in common. Paint base and PVC glue. Chemically, you can use paint as glue, although it's not as good as things formulated for glue, but it will work, right? You can glue paper together with paint. And you can use glue and mix it with paint, and you're just fine. So I'm kind of doing a mix right now. Cats are weird, but so are people. I think I know too, Cornico, and yeah, that's why I didn't say it. We are together. We understand. It's a little gray. He's a little gray bird. He or she, with a little tuft on its head. So yeah, pretty sure that name is censorable because I mean Twitch censors Bones 4, so it's definitely going to censor that name. David even blinked when I said the name of that bird. I'm like, shut up! It's the actual name of the bird. All right, so we're just gonna block in mostly with the gray, and then I'm gonna start adding in other colors. But yeah, so I was reading about, I might get some more interesting bird types if I introduce mixes that have like berries or dried berries in them. So I found a mixture, a fruit and nut mix for birds. All right, I'm going to pop in some of this walnut down in the shadows. Because the, you can see this is very much light enough to put a wash over, right? So I still might do the wash, we'll see. It depends on how the walnut works in. If it darkens everything nicely. If I'm able to get it consistently into the crevices. But I fear that it may just kind of overwhelm stuff, and I probably still will. So there's that walnut. No, because, well, I mean, you're not using super glue, you're just using white glue. Like, you really don't need to use a synthetic brush for glue. Yeah, it's water soluble, so you can if you want to. I mean, anytime, but it's not absolutely necessary. Like, Elmer's glue and PVA glues are water soluble, and they're not going to do anything to your brush that a paint doesn't do. Like I said, chemically, they're very similar. You definitely want to make sure you're rinsing your brush frequently when you're applying it, because you don't want that stuff to get up in the ferrule. But again, Winsor Newton will take it out, so. So I'm just kind of like going around and doing some brown and some gray, and I'll come back over this and probably introduce more brown tones to it. Oh yeah. Yeah, the sunflower hearts. I was looking at a mix that was all dehulled, and it had sunflower hearts in it. But yeah, no seed casings or anything, so essentially no litter, which would be nice. I think David is like more, and David's not truly irked at the litter. I mean, he's just like, oh, birdseed all over the patio, right? And I'm like, well, that be the cost of the birds. So we're going to go more over brown here. We're going to grab a little bit of our gray. You can see that even though this is a brownish gray, it definitely shows as separate from the brown. But we can mix the two together, get some transitions as well. Want to cover up that green stuff, of course. Oh, cool. Thanks, Relapse. Thanks for getting the book. Oh, sweet. No problem, Relapse. Yeah, book 2 is almost like I was working on book 2 this morning before the stream. So book 2 is, my vow is to get it completely, I'm in the editing phase and rewriting phase, but to get it completely done by my birthday, which is later in this month. And then it's just got to go to editors and stuff. If it all gets squared away early, I will publish it early. But that way, at least, the story, the main story, the beginning story is complete. Every book after that is more of a standalone. It's still in the same world with many of the same characters, but they're separate stories. Some of it there is a storyline, an overarching storyline, but it's not the main point. I've got a little, just a dustpan with a little brush. I just use that for cleaning up the patio. Some of it falls back into our shrubbery, and nobody's going to see it anyway, or our plants behind. The bird feeder is kind of like halfway over the plants and halfway over the patio. Okay, let's get a little bit more over here. But yeah, I'm very much enjoying it. I really like the bird bath. I like watching them take baths. It's funny. Birds are funny when they're getting wet. So I'm very happy I got the bird bath. And we've got some nice shrubbery there they can hide in. So yeah. But yeah, I would like to see, I know we've got goldfinches in the neighborhood, so. But I really like our house finches because the males have that red color, which is apparently, depends on what they eat. And the more carotenoids, the more like beta-carotene they have in their food sources, the redder they get. So now I really want to get that berry blend and see if my house finches turn brighter colors. It's magic. Yes, I know. Well, that's good. That's good to have passionate fans and readers. Like, it's all good. I mean, I can't write that fast enough to, like, satisfy my readers, but that's why there are other great writers in the world, right? And we will be highlighting this more, too, as well. And I think I will do a wash. So I'm going to keep some darker areas here, but we will be doing a wash, too. Just because. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I thought about suet. I thought about going suet. I think I might get some thistle. But I need a specialty feeder for that. But I'm going to for now, I'm just going to mess with my one feeder and experiment with a different food blend and see how my birds change. It's my fun and not too work intensive hobby. Oh, nice. Yeah. Yeah, sagebrush, yeah. Yeah, I thought about getting so many books, so little time, right? Yeah, I thought about getting a birdhouse, but I think that'll be maybe next year. First, I want to get the birds, like, used to coming for food. And used to our area. I haven't seen our little pygmy nuthatches come back since all the other loud birds moved in. I wonder if they were happier when I didn't have this big crowd of finches. Which is sad, because I really like the pygmy nuthatches. I'm not even supposed to have them here. Like, they're really pretty rare. But they're really cool little tiny birds. So we'll see. Maybe they'll come back. Maybe they could also be migratory. Because we are on, our area is on the bird migration route, the big one. One of the big ones. So we do get seasonal birds. Just funky. Yeah, same Tristodoma. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, house finches are pretty, like, they're pretty bold, and they're like, yeah, this suits. They don't seem to have much fear in them. They're still a little bit, they'll fly away, or at least for a tiny bit of time if Kiki or I moves too close to the glass, but otherwise they're pretty cool. I need a good pair of birding binoculars so that I can get, like, close up and personal with my birds without moving. I always liked birds, but I never wanted to own one as far as pet birds go. So this is a good compromise. So we're stippling some gray and brown in here. But yeah, I'm excited to get book 2 done because these 2 books I wrote them a long time ago, the rough draft a long time ago. And so it's been like a struggle to get them in shape, right? Because they needed a lot of editing. So I'm really can't wait until book 2 is finished, because everything after that now will be new writing. And I've gotten to be a lot better writer, so I anticipate not needing nearly as much editing, getting to the fun stuff of editing. I consider the fun stuff of editing when I can, like, really concentrate on making this, like, tuning the story and making it better and putting in extra layers of cool. That's my favorite part of editing. Whereas just trying to update my prose and make it make it better is kind of a struggle. Yeah. Okay, that's a good tip. Thanks, Cornico. Yeah, of course, Sage Rush. Yeah, I'm not sure how many of my neighbors have bird feeders. I know that many of them have hummingbird feeders, so I normally don't see. Even though we have some flowers that the hummingbirds like, we don't normally see them. I haven't seen our big brush jay. Kind of a shame that he or she disappeared before I got the feeder, the big blue bird, because they're really pretty and they really like nuts apparently. And apparently the brush jay has crazy memory, like can remember over 1,000 different places where it has hidden food in the past. So that's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool bird factoid I learned yesterday. So using a little bit of the walnut to just kind of pick out some of these more interesting shapes in the cork. Can actually see the magnetic field. That'd be pretty cool, Pendrake. That would be bird superpowers. Oh yeah, if you're feeding sunflower hearts and he's feeding some basic crappy mix with corn and Milo in it, then yeah. Oh dear. Well, I'm a little like, many people don't want mice obviously coming and eating their food, but we have a tiny mouse who comes sometimes to eat the corn, because there is corn in my first mix because I was inexperienced. And I kind of like our tiny mouse. So I don't know. Our tiny mouse won't have... He'll probably eat sunflower seeds, though, you think? I don't know. Not sure what mice prefer. I have not seen a single squirrel tackle our bird feeder, by the way. Not a single one. Like, I'm really wondering if sicking Kiki on that squirrel had effects. I mean, it could be sagebrush, but I just don't care. We have a vermin inspector who's makes sure that our house is pretty much mouse impervious. And if we began to have a problem, then, well, we'd have to act on it. But I've always kind of liked mice. It's that stupid Secret of Nim movie. I cannot help. I've always liked rats too, though. As long as they stay outside, I don't care. And you know what? It wouldn't matter if I had a little bit of food for rats and mice. In this neighborhood, they're all over. It's an old neighborhood with a bunch of shrubbery and undergrowth. And I regularly see rats and mice. So I know they're there already. Me throwing an extra tablespoon of corn onto the ground is not going to terribly affect them one way or another. Cool. Yeah, I can believe 7-year-old human on jays and ravens. And they like their peanuts. Like you said, the peanuts hole in the shell, but I think one of the mixes I'm looking at has shelled peanuts in it. But right now I'm liking our little birds. And I did set our feeder so that if a really big bird tried to sit on it, it would close. Because I didn't want, like, any really big birds. Yeah, I don't have cats. I only have my puppy, who is almost not a puppy anymore. She likes to watch the birds. Kiki really likes watching birds. All right, so we're just gonna, I think I'm gonna do a wash now. I'm gonna let this dry. Oh, I missed some parts, so I'm gonna get the parts that I missed back here, the cork. Yeah, I think part of why I don't get the nuthatches anymore is we got rid of that lime tree, right? The one that was dying, and I'm sure there were tons of bugs eating it, and that's what the nuthatches like to eat. So I may have kind of dissed our nuthatch population unintentionally by removing the dying lime tree. But I love our new maple tree, so I have no regrets, really. I mean, I'm sorry, nuthatches. I'm sorry, but... So yeah, they had to go somewhere else to find their noms, I'm sure. All right, and I also missed a piece right in here, right inside this little notch. So I'm going to get that real quick. Yeah, I always kept my cats inside, too. It was just, like... I was pretty sure they'd get in all sorts of trouble if I ever let them out, so they were indoor cats, indoor-only cats. And knowing what I know now about how they decimate wild bird populations, I'm, like, pretty okay with that. There are a couple people in our neighborhood who let their cats out, who either don't know or don't care about the wild birds. But only a couple. In general, our neighborhood is really good with not having loose animals. Compared to Texas, where loose animals were everywhere. All right, I think I've got most of this touched up. Yeah, we're just going to go for that. All right. It's mostly drying, so while it'll dry the rest of the way while I mix up my wash. I'm going to put a wash over this just to bring out all the little details, and then I can highlight. So yeah, basing is one of those places I will use a wash if there's lots of interesting features, just to kind of help me bring everything out. Of course, if I'm doing terrain, then it's more like a black base coat. A black base coat with dry brushing. But on a base like this, I'll put a little bit of extra effort into it. Let's see here. I need my brush on sealer. And I'll use, I think I'm going to actually use maybe gray liner today. Maybe even, I could use a mixture of blue and brown, but leave it a little more blue and see what it does. Because I've got a very brownish base right now. But I've got blue on her armor. I could also just double down on the brown. All right. Yeah, we planted that Japanese maple, which will get bigger. And right now it shades the little bird bath, which is the birds seem to really like that. Yep. I'm going to do 2 and 2, brown liner and blue liner, which should give me a colder effect. So I do this a lot. I haven't done it a lot recently, but I'm starting to do it again. Mixing blue liner and brown liner to get a complex kind of a black or gray liner. And by switching over how much blue to black you use, you can tailor the color you get resulting. Yeah, sagebrush. Nobody wants to believe that their cat is a bird killer. No. Oh well. We do what we can. Here we are trying to help the birds. In this yard, we do not have kitty cats. And if I did see a neighbor's cat in this yard, honestly, I would probably let Kiki out and that cat would never come back. Because Kiki would just want to snuffle the cat, but the cats do not want to meet Kiki. I keep wondering if that's why the squirrels aren't coming down this way after I sicked Kiki on one. I think they talk. But I got one of those squirrel buster feeders too, so the squirrels, if they did try, they'd have to jump onto it to try to get the food. and then it would close. So they could probably figure out maybe how to jump at it and knock it back and forth, but not much food would fall out. So I don't know. That might be more calories burned than it was worth as far as the squirrels go. There's so much easier food, especially this time of year. The plums are going to come out soon, and the figs are out, you know, and a whole bunch of people have citrus in their yards. So I'm sure there's much, much easier food for the squirrels to find. All right, I'm going to do 4 drops and about 5 or 6 drops of sealer. I'm going to mix it up and see what I got. More than I needed, but more than I needed to mix. I'm going to actually pop 1 drop of water in there. And then we'll pull this out and mix it up, show you guys. So this is actually going to give me very close to a true black. This is interesting. But it's a little bit more complicated black than just a flat black. And as I mentioned yesterday, when you build a black, quote unquote, by mixing blue and brown liner, it isn't, it's much thinner, so it makes a better wash. So if you do need to do a black wash, then I highly recommend, because you see how nice and translucent that is. It's not gritty at all. Some of the high density blacks, which is most blacks on the market these days, can get a little bit gritty when you try to thin them down, very ashy, and I find that the liners aren't as bad for that. So think about doing that. Oh yeah, the pecans, yep. Yep. Yeah, you guys have lots of nuts in Texas. What you doing, Keeks? Hanging out? The Kiki is wandering around. There we go. All right. So more like this, where it's really, really dark at the center, but it is falling off the upper surfaces. This is going to take the base a little darker. I'm okay with that. This is still a slightly colder black, which is good. When you do a wash, you do want to just have a ton of it on your brush. I have a video about this on my YouTube, the fundamentals of mini painting, how to apply a wash. Here especially, I'm going to be using my mixing brush because I want to really push the wash down into cracks if it's not going there itself, under its own volition. And this probably won't dry too dark. You can see it's darkening things down, it's outlining things. Putting a little extra wash where I want it. I'm not brushing back over it. You should not be brushing a wash on. You should be essentially blobbing a wash on and letting it sit. If you're brushing a wash on, you're going to get brush strokes eventually, maybe peeled up paint. Oh, geez, Twisted Oma. Now. Well, I guess you can say it. You still live in Texas. I'm not gonna diss Texas, other than the fact that it was really frustrating all the feral animals running around, because when I had a reactive dog, it was really, really hard to try to train him, because we would always just run into dogs running loose. It was really frustrating. Drove me to near tears several times. But other than that, my tenure in Texas was very enjoyable. So. All right, so I will take, since I have some of this that I did not actually thin enough to be a wash, I can use this as a liner. Not in my area. I've seen feral pigs in Arizona, though. Up in the brush and forest country, Forest National Park lands on the way to Phoenix from Texas. But no, we had coyotes where I was, Pendrake, but too urban, not enough forest land for feral pigs. So just a little bit extra lining here. It's like West Side Story. Your magpies are West Side Story magpies. And then I can take that thicker paint and also put it where areas of the wash is still wet to darken them down if I want to. We'll let this sit. I may have to paint over this base because I do have some, you can see the artifact super glue here. This base is a bit dinged up. So I may well paint, just paint black over it at the end to finish it off and then do a layer of sealer for a more of a satin shine. The sharks and the jets, yep. That's funny. So I feel like a proper business person because I made my spreadsheet yesterday for my book business, my author business. So I know exactly how far in the hole I am on the first book. But it's okay. It's okay. I'm actually doing okay. Even with the advertising, it's not, my messing around with my advertising is not really costing me very much money, which is excellent. And you know, I'm not in a hurry. Like a few people discovering my book here and there is great right now. Although I did run, so before I did 2 advertising campaigns. I'm doing 1 a week and I'm changing the parameters so that I can kind of see the differences. And for my first 2 campaigns, I was targeting like categories, like, you know, like ebooks, fantasy, fairy tale and folklore, yada yada, that kind of thing. And I was getting lots of impressions, but only about like 1 click per 1,000, which they actually say usually is an okay conversion rate. So per 1,000 people who saw my ad, 1 clicked. So this time, it's very interesting because this time I'm like, I'm going to let Amazon figure it out. So I did auto targeting where Amazon uses the information it's already got about my book to try to target it. And now I'm getting a lot fewer impressions. So it's not showing my book to as many people, but I'm getting 1 click per 100 people or per 200 people. So 5 times better as far as the click through, which is very interesting. So lots less people seeing it, but more of those people are clicking through. So it's fascinating. I don't know. A lot of people in the writing business, at least with indie publishing, well, and actually traditional authors too. That's why they tend to go traditional. They don't want to market. But a lot of them don't like marketing. I actually think I kind of do. It's kind of fun. It's kind of fun to like plug in stuff and see how it goes. It's like, especially because I'm only playing with little bits of money. So it's not like a big deal. It's not like I'm throwing $100 a week at it or anything. More like 10. But yeah, it's pretty fascinating. So the cool thing about letting Amazon target is now I can go in and see what keywords Amazon is using and see which ones are performing better. And then I can steal them for my own nefarious uses. So yeah, I guess I have a good brain for data, I guess. There we go. So a little bit more darkening down, and now I can start bringing up all of the details. But yeah, I think I'm going to become a marketing nerd. I think I am. I didn't like math in school, but I like data. I like science. There we go. A little bit here. All right. It was always good at targeting you. Well, I gotten a few clicks, so it's like I've gotten only 600 impressions so far, but 3 clicks. And what I'm noticing now is that the frustrating thing, or I guess I thought it was frustrating, but they don't let you see how many people have borrowed your book with Kindle Unlimited. But what I noticed with the UK campaign I ran last week is I got no sales, but my Kindle Unlimited reads spiked up during that time. So I think people were getting it. They just weren't. They were doing Kindle Unlimited, which makes sense. Amazon is probably going to advertise to people that, you know, are on Amazon a lot, and book buyers who are on Amazon probably, you know, more often than not these days seem to be on Kindle Unlimited. All right, so we've got that. I'm going to get a little bit of a purer gray. I'm going to, because my other gray got a little bit of brown in it. And I do want to definitely bring more brown into this back area here. And then I'll bring it up probably with a cream color to lighten it. Yeah, the advertising stuff is fun. It's cool. And once I have a second book out, then it gets real. Then it's like even cooler, because then I'll be able to see if I sell book 1, then I can see if I also get sales on book 2 when I run a promotion. It's just fun. It's neat. It's the dream. It's my dream, and it's coming true now. So. You mean on the Kindle Unlimited? I do, Twisted Oma, but they don't actually tell you when people borrow the book. They only tell you when you get page reads, because page reads are what pay you in Kindle Unlimited. You get paid a tiny amount for each page read, and then over the course of a whole book, that adds up. So if somebody reads my entire book, I think I get about $2. Yeah, it would make sense that more people are using KU. Yep. Yeah, so I'm not complaining, because, like, my KU reads, like, went way high. Like, I got 2,000 KU reads in, like, 4 days. So yeah, I think that now is when the Kindle, because at first Kindle Unlimited didn't really matter for me at all. But now with these promotions not promotion, but the advertising I'm running, now I'm seeing the Kindle Unlimited thing, because people may not know who the heck I am, but if it's a free borrow for them, there's no risk, right? So that's the nice thing about about being in Kindle Unlimited. I actually just renewed it for a second term. It's gonna run out midway through this month, and you have the option every 3 months to get in or out of it. And I was thinking about taking myself out of it, but then once I started advertising, I started seeing a lot more Kindle Unlimited reads. So I was like, oh. All right, and actually I'm going to mix cell highlight color too, because I think I'm going to want to go a little bit lighter. So the stone gray, and we'll use Cairn Stone for this. I do like Cairn Stone. It's got a little bit of a yellow in it, but it's also got gray. It's a very good gray stone highlighting color. It's a really good granite color. Words are doing good today. I actually have my margins right now, and honestly, when book 2 comes out, I'm going to drop the price of book 1 and use it as a loss leader. I'm not going to make it free, but I'll put it down to $2.99. So Issa's on the Kindle version will go down to $2.99. Right now, I get about $2 for a Kindle Unlimited read, because my book is over 350 pages long. And I get about $3 for a soft cover, about the same amount, honestly. I think I get $3.50 for the Kindle version itself if you buy the Kindle book, and then $3 on trade, I think. But that they're putting their pricing up. Amazon is raising print pricing soon, so I'm going to get less. They say at least if you make at least $2 on a print copy, you're doing okay. And I knew they were going to be raising prices, so I put it up a little higher so I wouldn't have to go back in and change everything. But yeah, so I get less for Kindle Unlimited, but I probably get more readers through Kindle Unlimited now as I advertise, because it's less risk for them, right? They don't have to spend $4.99. They just have to use their Kindle Unlimited and make me one of the 20 books they can get. Which is less than $1, so bargain. Yeah, I mean, it's cool. I mean, honestly, I'm going to give you a finger heart, no matter how you read my book, because you read my book. But yeah, I'm getting there. All right, so I'm essentially putting a drop of my Cairn Stone into my gray here, just to lighten it up and give it a little bit more opacity. When you add a white or an off-white to a mid-tone color, it usually makes it have a little bit more coverage, and since I'm thinning it, but I still want it to show up and be able to do some texture effects on these stones, I wanted it just a little bit more opaque. And then there's 3 drops of Cairn Stone. I'm going to drop a drop of... no, Polly, it should be instantaneous. Last time it was, because essentially as the author, I just set a release date with Amazon. And this time I might actually just do a 2-day pre-order just to make sure all the books launch at the same time. Because otherwise they can be weebly wobbly. It can be a little weebly wobbly as far as when exactly they come out. But I try to make trade paperback and ebook and Kindle Unlimited. All of that should hit at once. The ebook actually... Kindle Unlimited goes live when the ebook goes live, so those are simultaneous. But yeah, since the beginning, Polly, I've tried to have a print version out and the ebook and the Kindle Unlimited, because I want people to be able to get it in their favorite format. The only one that was delayed this last time was the hardcover, because I was working with a different publisher on that, Ingram's. And they took a little longer. And also I needed to pay... I needed to decide if I really wanted it, and I needed to pay my cover artist to do a whole new cover, because it was a dust jacket version. So she needed to essentially alter the cover. And I needed to pay for that. So I waited, but I'm happy. Now I have a hardcover version of my book on my shelf, which makes me happy. So this time, now that I know of Ingram's, this time I may... have that ready up front. But it takes a little bit to populate in Amazon because I'm not using Amazon for the hardcover, if that makes sense. Because I wanted a nicer hardcover. I wanted the dust jacket. And Amazon does not do dust jacket. Yes, time out for showing up late. Exactly. Alrighty, so now we've got this and we've got that, and I think I'm going to actually put a bit of Cairn Stone into my brown, just a drop into my shield brown, just to lighten it up also and give it a little bit more coverage. I'm going to be using a mixture of browns and grays here, just to give us a little bit. They are on Amazon, but sadly they are not cheap, because it turns out it costs quite a bit to get that dust cover version. So essentially... you've got the ebook for $4.99. You've got the trade paperback for around $15 or $16, or maybe it's $16.99. It's somewhere around there. So it's whatever it needed to be for me to make at least $2 or $3 off of it. And then the hardcover version is like double that, is like $30, which I think is pretty standard these days. Prices are going up because the cost of everything is going up. All right. But yeah, I price just based on the cost that Amazon and Ingram's give me. And I make the most money, although I haven't set this up yet. But hypothetically, I could sell the books off my website and make a better margin as far as print books. So I am considering that. But I might not set it up until like book 3 or 4, because that's an extra level of tracking and keeping on top of, right? No, actually, Gibson, I don't. I did the hardcover because I love dust jacket hardcovers, and I wanted a hardcover of each of my books. So for fans who just love hardcovers, and for me, that's why I did the hardcover. Because the hardcover is so expensive to produce, it's actually even harder. I think I might only make like $2 off of the hardcover, but $2 or $2.50. Like, it's hardcovers are really expensive. At least if you're an indie. If you're a trade, like with the trade publishers, the New York publishers, they can do them and make a better margin because they do so many of them. But when you're doing print on demand, it's I do not get more for the hardcover. I pretty much priced everything so that I could make $2 or $3 a copy. Like that's what everything is at. Yeah, oh, it's fine. Like if you want to buy the hardcover, I still get money for it, right? And I still am tickled that you want my book, so it's a win for me. Let me see. I need some brown here. Put some brown in here. Crumbly dirt. I want different colors, a little bit of different colors going in here. I want it to be mottled brown and gray. So yeah, if you like hardcovers, the hardcover is really pretty. It's really pretty. Even the dust jacket is satin. It's really nice. I'm happy about it. That's the thing. You pay a lot for Ingram's, but Ingram's also, being the same printer that most of the big publishers use, puts out a very high quality product in the hardcover. But yeah, if you look at that's why also if you look at it on Amazon, like my cover doesn't show up because Amazon is yoinking the Ingram's. They're getting it, essentially they're ordering the book from Ingram's. So for some reason that didn't port over, but it is the same book. And you can also get you should be able to get the hardcover on Barnes & Noble. I don't know if the trade is on Barnes & Noble. I don't think so. Or maybe, yeah, it's a good question. I don't remember if it reverse propagates. Like, Barnes & Noble totally does pull listings from Ingram's. But I don't remember if they pull from Amazon. All right, so a little bit of brown down here. Trade. Yeah, trade paperback. Because mass market paperbacks are a vanishing breed these days. Trade paper is where it's at. I like trade paper, honestly, better than mass market. Even if it is more expensive. So I'm just going to start like working some lighter colors in here to try to make little bits stand out. I'll also be outlining these little stones. You notice I'm pulling in more browns here, more grays over here. I want a nice mix. Oh, no. Movie logic and book logic are not the same, Polly. For one thing, a lot of folks only read digital. Like for me, I only get fiction on digital, and I'll get nonfiction in trade paper. Because a nonfiction book, I usually want to bookmark or sticky note or do, all sorts of stuff too. Maybe even, I don't usually mark my books as far as like writing in them, but I do that kind of thing to them. Whereas my fiction books, I just want to read. So I almost always will buy only ebook. So essentially, if I don't launch with the ebook, I'm like just like killing my launch as an author. I think that was old school, kind of like how, like they used to big trade publishers would release the hardcover, then they'd release the trade, then they'd release the mass market paperback. And for all I know, they still do that, but I don't know that they do. I think the ebook comes out simultaneously now because when I have been on pre-order for like C.J. Cherryh or Naomi Novik novels, they've come out and I've gotten it right away. Pretty sure New York knows that a lot of people only read on digital now. Ebook I get slightly more because the ebook doesn't have any print costs, right? And so ebook will always be a slightly better margin. But yeah, if I set up a store for myself, and then essentially I get to order copies from Ingram's at cost, and then I can essentially sell them and mail them out myself, and that gets me the best royalty of all. But it is an extra headache, so I have not really thought about doing that yet. Plus, I'd need to set up like Shopify or something on my site, and I'm still a baby author. We'll wait for that till I get a little bit more popular. Yeah, I get slightly less for hardcover. I get slightly more for ebook, but I'm trying to get between like $210 and $350, depending. Because it's a business. It's a business. I'm trying. Can't lose money. Okay, I can lose money, but I'm going to stop losing money as fast as I possibly can. My new editor actually lowers my, will lower the price of my book production by $500. All right, so I wanted to outline that little rock a little bit here. I'm going to come over and do a little bit of shadow. But everything is starting to see the highlights are bringing out all of that, and I don't want it to be so sharp that it just ever distracts from her, but I want the base to be interesting, and it is coming up interesting now. The brown parts are reading a little bit more as like dirt, and the gray parts are reading more as rubble that's half buried in the dirt, which is exactly what I wanted. But yeah, the exciting part comes when I have a second and third book out, maybe a fourth book out. Then it's real. Then it gets real. Then I might have a hope of actually like paying for my production costs. It cost me between the editing, the book cover, cost me $1,850 to publish my first book. But subsequent books will only cost me about $1,300. I figured it out last night. That doesn't, a little bit more if I do hardcovers. So it is, this is why you see so many self-published books that are not very good quality, is that people don't have the money to get a good editor or a good cover artist, or they choose not to spend it. And that's fair. If you're a good editor yourself, you can do it yourself. Although it usually, I don't know, I always want somebody else's eyes on the book. So a little bit more highlighting in here. Because it's easy to get like, you know, blind to your errors when it's you. But I also like made a point of making kind of a seed fund for my books. Like I knew that it was going to cost money to get editing and stuff, so I saved up money beforehand. Because I wanted to put out a good quality book. And that's not everybody's thing, so that's looking pretty nice actually right now. Once we add some vegetation. Hey, Jamie. Yeah, we're almost done. This one is like, this one's all but in the can. I'm just finishing up basing. Long time no see. How you been? How have you been? Even good editors, when they write, need a good editor. Yeah, that's my opinion. That's my opinion too, not bad. Oh, toddler. Yep. Toddler aggro. Well, but soon... Like, relatively soon, the toddler will be, like, old enough to start painting minis with you. So. That's the fun part, right? Just keep doing our little stippling bits on these little stone bits here. Keep moving around the model. So today is when Diablo 4 comes out, and my husband is like, David is like, I am going to come home after lunch, and I'm going to work from home, and the instant I'm done with my 4 o'clock meeting, I'm playing Diablo. And he's like, let's order out for dinner. And I'm like, honey, I already planned to cook. And he's like, oh. Because that means he can't just eat it at his computer. He has to actually have supper with me. Oh, it's so funny. He's such a nerd. Such a nerd sometimes. I laugh. I've been that addicted to computer games, so I get it. I get it. I'm just not anymore, but it's still funny. I tease him about it. Oh no, Crowley, I'm sorry. Oh yeah, I mean, even I write pretty clean, but I'll still make typos and repeat words. And my new editor I really like because he's really, I chose him because he's got a really good eye for continuity. So he's actually read my first book now, and he's good at catching continuity errors. So since I'm writing a series, this is worth its weight in gold because I try really hard, but it's hard for authors to keep track of that stuff sometimes. So many Diablo chats happening right now. That's so funny. But yeah, so I'm excited to have an editor that's really good at continuity stuff. I'm keeping on my previous editor, but only in a beta reading capacity, which should be enough to catch the worst stuff. But she was a little bit... And we'll see if she's right, but I don't know. Like, she was a little weird on magic systems. I didn't know if we were a good fit on magic systems. I think I talked to you guys about this, where those of you who have read my book know that I'm very much in the fairy tale magic. And I will say, I do have a magic system. It's kind of under the radar now, and it will become more explained as the books go on. But I really like not knowing all the nuts and bolts of the magic system off the bat. I like kind of revealing them. And she wanted me to, she thought I needed to reveal it all right away. And I'm like, I don't know if I agree with that. Sure enough, I think about some of the recent books that I'm reading and enjoying, and a lot of them have skeletal magic systems, but I'm still enjoying them. So I just felt like that was the one piece of advice she gave me. I took almost everything else that she gave me and enacted it, but that was the one piece of advice she gave me that I was like, you know what? I don't think so. Oh yeah, the late meetings last forever because everybody's brain is fried and they just can't be focused. Yes, yeah, Sagebrush, I agree. Gibson. Hey, every one of us fantasy writers and who every one of us has played D&D. Every one of us is privately, secretly thinking about how would I make my game world into an RPG. I don't think I'm going to be able to make my game world into an RPG until at least book 4. Because the thing about the RPGs is they are necessarily going to reveal a couple spoilers, right? Because as you write about characters and their history and NPCs and things. So I need to at least get, for current readers of the book, I need to at least get stuff revealed, Yeah, and I'm bad for sure. My last editor was a really good developmental editor. She caught some of the artifacts in my writing that just were not best practices. But now I've fixed those things in my writing, and now I've internalized that advice, and I catch them myself. So we'll see. She's very expensive for real editing. I mean, very expensive. I mean, several $1,000s. So she gave me a discount when we were trialing, but I don't know that I need that for every book now. So we'll see. Because essentially, I need to be in the black. Essentially, I want by year 3. I have a business plan, guys. Are you proud of me? You should be so proud of me. I've never had a business plan. But by year 3 of writing, I want to be in the black. I want my books to be making enough to cover the cost of production plus a bit. That's my goal. Yeah, Gibson. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I like the storyteller system that White Wolf created because I've always enjoyed a system that enabled, I don't like a super crunchy system, except for Champions. I do love Champions, but, I mean, I will be the first to admit Champions is just kind of hellish to run and create NPCs for and to, teach to a new person. So I always kind of liked stuff that was easy to teach and enabled story, but still had enough rules that you could do cool things. All right, so we got that more dirt back here. Oh, I love business plans too, Agent Marvel. Are we both like data numbers nerds? Is that am I feeling that from you? I love Champions. I loved Champions because my game master was the best dang Champions game master. Like, he took that system and made it accessible because he told a great story with great villains. Like, it was just great. It was just, and he was using, for the most part, he was using the Zodiac storyline, and he gave enough personality to the individual villain characters that it lived. Like, his world lived. Like, it was, I had just the best. And he started me with a real simple character, and we just went from there. So I learned the system. I saw their new show, and I saw that it wasn't on Geek and Sundry, and I didn't watch it yet. I saw episode 1 pop up. What is it like, Gibson? What's this based on? Is it their own thing? Like, did they create something? Planner, or yeah, I'm super planner. You know that. Yeah. Yeah, good GM can make the worst game system be great. Like, honestly. All right, what are we at? Oh, we're almost at 11. Okay, I need to get a highlight for this brown, and I want to go warmer with it, so I think I'm going to go with more of a yellowy color. Where is my creamy ivory? Yeah, creamy ivory there. Yeah, hero system is just a little cumbersome. Like, for me, I could never run it. Like, I tried to run it once, and it's just, creating every NPC is just so work intensive. And figuring out synergies, and I couldn't do it, but I did enjoy Champions. I still think that if you're gonna run a superhero campaign that's more or less balanced, and that is very, like, where you want to create anything, you want to be able to create any superhero you can imagine, Champions is it. I feel like that. I still have a conviction about that, but I will admit it's not an easy system. All right, so I'm gonna add this creamy ivory to my shield brown. We're going to get just a little bit of a lighter brown color this way. Very narrative. All D6 based. Okay, so kind of like GURPS. D6, GURPS being also D6. I've played a lot of RPGs, guys, in my day. Right, exactly. Yeah, that's what I thought about all of the other superhero games when I looked at their systems. If I ran superheroes, I'd run Champions, even if the villains are going to be a pain to build. But I mean, I guess that means you just try to have a few of them and have an ongoing storyline that works, which is what my old GM did. Yeah, I'll have to take a look at it. I saw that they had started the new thing. The problem I have with Critical Role is just that it's such a time investment to watch, because the sessions are D&D sessions. They're long. And then you've got 60 zillion of them. Which you want, because you want to be able to see the characters develop and everything. But it means that it's a lot of time investment. And right now I don't have a lot of time investment. So I've been watching Campaign 3, but at a glacial pace. Yeah, if I didn't have audiobooks, I might listen to it on my evening walks. Like, that would be probably the best way to do it. I could actually keep up with the weekly games that way, because my evening walks are about 30 minutes. So if I was doing like 30 minutes a night listening to Critical Role, yeah, I could do one a week. It would be okay. But most of the time I'm listening to writing books, or most of the time, honestly, writing books or motivational books. Books about habit building and things like that can help me in my new pursuit. So, or I'm taking my evening walks and brainstorming stuff for my writing the next day, which is Actually, what I do more often these days, since I'm actively writing a lot. So just a little bit of light, just to bring in a little bit more focus and detail here. Yeah, and exactly. Like, if you have a long commute, Critical Role is perfect for long commutes. Oh, I skipped campaign 2. I skipped campaign 2, Gibson, because I liked when I looked at the characters for campaign 3, I really liked them. And so I skipped campaign 2 in favor of 3. Figure it'll always be out there. I can go back to it. But yeah, I mean, I hate to say this, but with all of the weird Hasbro stuff over the system and trademarks and yada yada, and IP, I don't blame them for doing a new system. Because you don't want to have this hugely successful series that you then can't, it's based on a game you no longer can use. All right, so there we go. So we got a little bit, see that just gives a little bit of cracked soil appearance. Yeah, Sam does good characters. Sam's character in campaign 3 is hilarious. I love him. And I love Liam's characters too, because he plays a good, like, honorable straight man. But yeah, so it's all good. Yeah, if it's less serious than Critical Role, I honestly probably wouldn't enjoy it, because I actually like a more serious game. And Critical Role has enough ridiculousness in it for me. In fact, sometimes I don't enjoy the ridiculousness in Critical Role, although most of the time I do, because then they'll bring it back around. They don't get totally out of line. But yeah. There we go. Got this all nice, showing up really nicely. So next time we will be throwing some vegetation into this. And we'll figure out what we're going to do with that vegetation. Right, exactly, Agent Marvel. Yeah, I agree. Well, and there's somebody working on it. There was a new OGL, right? That a bunch of companies got together and put out. So I appreciate that. Yeah, so this is looking good. So all we need is vegetation, and then we'll start a new model. Hey, that's what I can do with this last few minutes, guys. So I'm going to show you guys the new models that we could choose, and you guys maybe give me some ideas which one you like, and just shout it out. We won't do an official poll or anything. We'll see what we got. Hold on, let me grab all the ones I grabbed the other day that Kiki was snoodling. Kiki has snoodled all of these. They're Kiki Snoodle approved. What do you got? Okay. Let's see here. Boom, 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 boom. Ah! Alright. So there are a couple of standard elves. 1 second. We get here. Alright. Yeah. We got a couple of standard elves, older sculpts that have been ported over. So we've got Illustralee, who's cool. And then we've got this dude, hood dude. What is his name? Arthrend. So we've got these two standard elves, although she's definitely more of a wood elf, and I would probably paint her accordingly. So that'd be cool, because I have not painted a wood elf for you guys. So she's a possibility. We've got another elf. Any Windrunner is probably an elf. But I like this guy. He's got a cool tree on his shield. It's neat. He's got a cool stance. Got some good expression, just generally, I like him quite a bit. So he's pretty cool, actually. So that's Dungeoneer. Let's see here. And then we've got Brumby, the fighter. This guy, Dungeon Dwellers. He's got a torch again, so we could do another lit effect if we wanted to. He's just a crisp. Any of the Bones USA stuff are just nice crisp sculpts. So he's a bit different. We do a lot of females. I don't think that we've done a male fighter. So he's a possibility. And finally, I don't know if I want to... Actually, I grabbed these, but you know what? I don't think they're Bones USA, so I don't think I want to necessarily do them. I guess they could be. They're just tiny. They're the little Mouseling Thief and Assassin. They're just itsy bitsy. So Mouseling Thief and Assassin. And they're tiny because they're true scale Mouselings. So I'd probably just pick one. I'd probably pick the little thief because he's got a lot of personality. But all of these will probably be done at some point. It's just like any like thoughts on like off the top of my head. This guy's technically a wood elf too. He's got a little leaf brooch on his stuff. So I think off the top of my head, like it would be either warrior guy or Illustraly or this guy. Boop. So I've got to vote for the male elf. Dungeon Dweller dude would be your preference. They're all great sculpts. Yeah, they're all sculpts. I see a couple for the dude. So yeah, any of these. I might just put them in a box and pick one out. Yeah, why not, Quindy? I guess so. I guess we'll do a poll. So we could do elf dude, wood elf lady, or wood elf dude, wood elf lady, and male warrior, male fighter. However you want to call them. And we'll leave them up on here, so if you use their regular names, then people can know which one it is. So yeah. Angry Link, yep. All right, well, we'll put the poll up, and then you guys can choose. And whichever one is in second, I'll probably trade out for Wizard with Spell Effect, because I'm not feeling it on him. I'd probably do something similar to the Mouseling on him, but I don't know. We'll have to see. Yeah, I'm not feeling him right now, Richard. I reserve the right always to go back and like maybe re-pick up something that we've got that I didn't finish along the way. Kiki. She heard people outside. You're good. Good girl. Yay, Kiki. Hi, you want to come up say hi? You can come up and say hi. Do you want to come up and say hi? Here's my leg. There you go. Good girl. Good girl. Yeah, there's my good face. There's my good girl. Yeah. Coming in for the hug. Coming in for the huggle. Yeah. We're going to have a poll, Papa. We're going to have a poll. Quindy's going to have a poll. Yeah, that's my big girl. Hi. Oh, good girl. The lickens. The lickens. Good girl. Painting was good. We're just doing basing on... We're finishing up our Sophie. Oh, hi. Do you want to lick that? Do you want to lick that mini? Oh, we've got the poll, Kiki. We've got the poll. How do you vote? Which one did you lick? You want to lick these? Which one? Which one? Paw the one you want. Here. Wait, we're going to have Kiki choose. Kiki, you're going to choose. Okay, wait. Boom. You choose the middle one? You choose this one? Okay, I'll vote for that one. Kiki is chosen. All right, everybody vote. Okay, now I'll get these back up so you can see. Boop, boop. Choose which one. Oh, not that one. Wrong one, Kiki. We gotta get this one. It flew all the way over here. There we go. Awesome. Yeah. These guys. Hey there, Bubba. What you doing? Now, Bubba. Yeah. All right. We've got a wood elf guy with shield is definitely in the lead. In the lead, Bubba. In the lead. Yeah. Oh, yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, what a good girl. 2 brain cells for polls. Alrighty, we're getting there. You've got maybe a minute left to vote, everybody. Hey, Papa. Hi, Pettins. Hey, Pettins girl. I hope you're not eating bits of dried paint. You really shouldn't be. Yeah, you really should not be eating those. Big Fuzz. Big Fuzz. Hi, is it time? You rest in your head on my leg because it's time. Yeah, is it time, Bubba? Oh, wow. Wow, Wood Elf Lady pulls ahead. Wood Elf Lady pulls ahead. We don't need SKUs. Where we're going, we don't need SKUs. Yes. Oh, you got only a little bit more time. Only a little bit more time. Don't worry. Remember, the second one is probably going to replace Spell Effect Wizard. So I'll take the top two. We'll just do them. We'll put them in different. Oh, one vote separating them. One vote. One vote. Here it comes. It's down the wire, Papa. Oh, Wood Elf Lady wins, Papa. Wood Elf Lady wins. You chose that one. Good girl. She's like, I chose that one. Yay. Yay. Monster Dog. Monster Dog is monstrous. You're monstrous, Monster Dog. Oh my gosh. Ah! I'm dying. All right. Kiki wins. That's the one she knows twice. My heart. My heart. All right. I have a dog that really wants a walk. In case you can't tell. Don't worry. Okay, so Wood Elf Lady will replace Sophie. And Wood Elf Dude will replace Spell Dude. Because I'm not feeling Spell Dude. So don't worry, we'll still get to do the dude. Yeah, Bill, I feel it. Yeah, but you still get both, so don't worry. Yeah, Angry Link is going to get painted anyway. Human Fighter will go back in the box for next time, Papa. For next time? Yeah, you don't get to eat those. You do not get to eat those, little girl. Oh, hi, face. She's such a sweetie. All right, so thanks, guys. Yeah, it's Josh Day, so come back at 2 p.m., and it's Diablo 4 Day. So to anybody else who's going to start their werewolf, at least I'm going to start a werewolf, won't you? Or other player character of your choice, I hope you enjoy it. David and I will be playing tonight. Yes. Yeah, I know. I need to get, come on, Bobby. Really, Bobby. Enough said, really. But yeah, so I do need to order some Rodolphi. So, yeah. Yeah, we'll be around. Have fun. Okay, everybody. Tomorrow we will be on this lady. The lady we were working on the white and the blue and all the things. I like how she's coming along. Yeah, she's getting sharp, actually. Getting sharp. So, all right. Oh, Diablo will wait for tomorrow. Yep. All right. Thanks, everybody, and I will see you tomorrow morning for the Friday edition of Reaper Pro Tips. I have a great one.